Today, in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today's topic is not only current but very, very relevant and very important. And the topic is importance of domestic help. वह नौकर नहीं सहायक है वो, घर में सहयोग प्रदायक है वो, व्यस्त जिंदगी में पति पत्नी की धनुष पर चढ़ती सायक है वो. सायक मीन्स वाण और तीर, नहीं मशीन तुम उसे समझना, भाव भरी सब विधि लायक है वो, जितना दोगे उसको सम्मान, करेगी घर का वह गुणगान. This very lovely poem was made today only composed by a very, very talented Mr. Paramatmanand Pandey Matwala, and he has composed it today morning only, and he has sent to me, and he is the farmer and a founder president of Utho Jago Foundation Balia, UP, and he is the feature editor of Nav Bharat. Domestic helper means a person who assists an employer with the domestic duties of a household, which includes cooking, cleaning, care for children, elders, and handicapped persons in the home. Domestic workers also dedicate their efforts to enhance the well-being of their employers' children and ensuring that the homes they manage are in perfect conditions. This offers parents and homeowners the time and luxury they need to toil in their careers of pursue education without any stress. Especially in a country like India, where we are so dependent on so many people for various things, domestic help has literally wielded this power over all of us. When the domestic help stopped coming, that is when the whole family realized how much of a help that domestic help actually is. And we have already seen, viewers, during the COVID time, the importance of the domestic help, how everyone was crying because they were not getting the domestic help to come and do the household work. They are just not the domestic help at times, they are the life help for a lot of people. Finding good domestic help seems to be the greatest try over social media like WhatsApp groups, etc. And to discuss this very, very important topic, that is importance of domestic help, we have a very elite, knowledgeable, and those who are having very good experience handling with the domestic help. Panelists are with us. I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and she is Advocate Jyoti Pawar. Advocate Jyoti Pawar is practicing law for last more than 33 years in Mumbai. She has done masters in science and masters in law. She worked as a special public prosecutor in Sessions Court, Mumbai, and was on teaching faculty of JC Law College. In 1995, she was appointed as additional public prosecutor, High Court, dealing with important criminal writs as well as criminal appeals. Thereafter, in 1999, she was appointed as the head of writ appellate side, which gave her a chance to defend government in high stakes matters as well as public interest litigations touching social causes. She was in the panel of central government as senior counsel, Mahada, BMC, in the High Court, Mumbai. At present, she is practicing the High Court at Mumbai. Welcome, Advocate Jyoti Pawar. Advocate Jyoti Pawar, first of all, congratulations, because today your daughter is been honored as a pillar of Maharashtra at the governor's house at Mumbai. And she's such a talented doctor, a very vivid writer, as well as a very good human being. And she's a regular panelist on my show also. Advocate Jyoti Pawar, you are dealing with a domestic help at your place, as well as you might have come across so many cases in even the criminal cases against the domestic helps or against the employers in your lifespan of more than 33 years in the practice. We would like to know your views of the importance of domestic help. Advocate Jyoti Pawar, please. Please unmute. Please unmute, Advocate Pawar.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Lal Goyal. Good morning to everybody. all the panelists as well as the viewers. My daughter is getting the award today. That's a very great thing for us. Thank you so much for that also, your well wishes. Today's topic, which touches almost all the homes in India, is very important topic as far as ladies are concerned, or rather all the homely persons are concerned, because without them, I think so, we just can't carry on. As you said rightly, that the COVID times had taught us how much important maid servants are in our life. They are the lifeline, in fact, of Indian families. Now, what has happened that everybody requires a maid, and today's world, we are running after so many things. Like nowadays, women have become career oriented. Everybody wants to do something, some job or the other. And the household responsibilities are totally left on the maid servants. Now, for this purpose, the maid servants has to be very sincere, and good maid servants have to be employed by the people. We get good as well as sour experiences from the maid servants that we employ. But to cut out the sourness in our experiences, the police have already, in each area, as far as Mumbai is concerned, since so many thefts were taking place, they have already alerted all the societies that whoever maid servant is employed by them, they should give all the details of the person with the photograph to the nearest police station in their area, so that if anything happens, they can be immediately identified by them. But I don't know as to how many people are doing this, because the maids which are employed by them, usually they give reference of somebody and they get employed in their places. So with references only they get employed, and people feel that they are trustworthy. So on the trust itself, the work goes on. In India, there is no such law as regulating their work. But yes, there is a Domestic Workers Welfare and Social Security Act, which was formulated in 2010 to regulate their services. But I don't think anybody is following that, because what happens that, like today, I have a servant who is I have two servants. One is doing all the work, top work, and one is cooking. So these people, they not only are working in one house, but they go to several houses for working. And therefore, they cannot be called as a servant of one house itself. And therefore, they draw different salaries from different places. So this type of Domestic Workers Welfare and Social Security Act does not will not apply to them unless and until they are working at one place itself. Some people have day-night maid servants, but they also give them lump sum amount. But such type of act, which is already available to them, is not in their knowledge. And therefore, when these people are so much illiterate that they do not know that such type of acts exist also. And I feel that the people who employ them, they will take advantage of the situation, and they may also not be aware about this act, because they don't even ask them that, yes, we are ruled by this act. And they don't, some people have made unions in the societies to protect themselves. But even the union people are not aware that such type of acts do exist. So therefore, I don't think so that anything in such type of sector, which is a domestic servant sector, such type of things means like this act, which can regulate such domestic servants in the households. So these people actually, they become, as far as Indian families are concerned, which come in my knowledge, they always treat their servants like they're one of their family member. Like I have these two servants who are working for me, who are part-time, but they are like our own family members, and they work also in that way, so that we can just fully leave the house on them, and they take care of the house in our absence. Like myself, I go to the court. My husband is a doctor. My daughter is a doctor. We all three are working, and nobody is in the house entire day. So the keys are held with the servants, and they come and do their work, particularly in the house, so that when I come in the evening and see my house, it is as if, yes, I have cleaned it. So they take so much particular care about the house, what's told, what has to be done and what not has to be done. Now, as far as abroad countries are concerned, USA and all, we see that most of the people, they don't have household servants. And if at all they want to employ also, they have a person who visits once in a week, and they come and they just do all the cleaning and they go away from there. But this cannot happen in India, as we are used to servants so much that we just cannot pull on without a servant in the house. So we not only have one servant, we have several servants. Not now the servants which are of course employed by the state government or the central government, they do get all the benefits of the act, under the act. But the persons who are not working with the state government employees or with the central government employees, they do not even know about the existing of such act which can regulate their working conditions. And therefore I feel that it is left to the people, rather the homely people, the people those who are working with them. They should take care of their medicines, their medical health. They should give. Now several things are stated in the act, that how much rest to be given, what are the working conditions they should work, and several things in the act have been stated, but not even one is being regulated as far as Indian homes are concerned, because we are so much used to having our servants, and we are just this beforehand, all the backward class people, they used to be employed by the people for working in their house, and their conditions were not very good, and they were not even treated equal with them. But today I have seen there's a sea change in this sector. And if we see that all the homes, particularly in Mumbai and also in big cities, I see that the domestic servants who are working, they are really given same importance as their family members, and nobody is ill treated. As far as cases are concerned, High Court, I have not dealt with any matter with domestic servants, any misbehavior or any criminal act, because unless and until some murder or something takes place and where the accused is a maid servant, then only if an appeal comes in the High Court, we deal with it. Otherwise, such type of matters usually go to the magistrate court beforehand, and there only it is solved if there are theft matters or petty matters. Now, we have seen in so many times that some servants who are not known to the families and they go and work in somebody's place, they conduct thefts. And not only that, they are not at all loyal. And the CCTV cameras which are put nowadays by the society are so much helpful that immediately the theft is caught and the person is behind bars. So today the scenario has totally changed as far as maid servants are concerned. And I feel that it's a boon to the Indian families that maid servants are still available in cities as well as in smaller places, because the working conditions have improved, their wages have improved very much. Now today we have a servant who really earns by going to different places about 30 to 40,000 rupees per month. So the wages have increased so much that if they say that I don't want to work in this much amount, we have to bend to them and we have to give them whatever they want. So I feel that they are also happy, and since they are illiterate and they cannot do any other work, I feel that if they are treated very well by the people, by the society, they also happily work with you and they are satisfied. So I feel that they are an integral part of our families, and which cannot be at all removed. In COVID times, we have experienced hardships, very much hardships, when they were not there. It was not as if the work was not going on, but we could feel the heat, as if the absence of them, what type of works we have to do and how we cannot manage everything. Even though we were not working, we were in the house, but still it was very, very difficult. So this COVID times have really taught us that how much is the importance of maid servants, and therefore I feel that maid servants should be given equal importance. They should be given good wages if you are earning well, and they should be treated well. As far as we are concerned, we treat the maid servants as our family members. And I feel that I have no SAR experience as far as maid servants are concerned, because everybody treats them almost very nicely like a family member. So not much to speak as far as the act is concerned, because the act is not at all applicable to them as far as Indian circumstances are concerned. And therefore, I feel that not much to speak on this topic, but yes, without maid servants, we just cannot pull on in our lives. Thank you so much.
The domestic help is an integral part of Indian homes, says Advocate Jyoti Pawar. And Advocate Jyoti Pawar has said, given the details about the working conditions of Indian domestic help, she says that the Indian domestic help, although there is an act passed by the government, but nobody follows. And but one thing she says, that in India, the domestic helps were treated as an integral part of the family. They will be treated as a family member. But she also says that nobody follows the act which provides them many things like the leaves, and I'm sure bonus, the medical facilities, etc., which is not being given by, according to Advocate Jyoti Pawar, almost all the households. So this is a very unfortunate part. Although she says that the importance of domestic help is very much, she says that they are working, they are earning 30 to 40,000 rupees a month. So they are also earning good amount. They are illiterate. Unfortunately, this is our fault, the society's fault, if we cannot teach our women, give the literacy to them. And if we are saying about 30, 40,000, an airline pilot is earning lakhs and lakhs of rupees. Ministers and the MP, MLAs, politicians are earning money like anything. But for the work, the kind of work the domestic help is doing, according to Advocate Jyoti Pawar, is too much. They are doing almost everything. And she says they felt the heat during the COVID time when the domestic help could not attend the work due to the COVID restrictions. But she says the people in India, advantage is that we treat them as a integral part of our family. She also mentioned about abroad, that other places where they, because it is not easy to afford them, because the rates are high, especially in USA. But those who are affording, because I also know that those who are affording them, they know how to treat them. They also treat them like a total family member. They have to give full respect there. They have to, if any time the domestic help is late due to any reason, they have to give them the Uber or the transportation charges, or see to it that somebody will go and drop to their houses. So they are also, and they have to follow the sick leaves and all leaves, which unfortunately in India, although we are on the verge, we say that we are going to be the wish guru, but still we are far behind when we talk about the women empowerment. Because if we cannot treat, we will not provide the facilities which is in our hand. And I will not blame the male, or I will not say that it's a male chauvinism, rather it is because the domestic help is always been engaged by the female or the lady of the house. And if they are not taking care of the domestic help, this shows that even the women in India are also not giving that leverage or that much advantage or that much things to the women empowerment. Thank you very much, Advocate Jyoti Pawar. And I know that you have to go to Raj Bhavan. Before that, I would like to mention that there is a the question, rather a statement has come from one of our viewers. Is Mr. Bhupati Prasad Pandey, IAS. He is the former Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Maharashtra. He is of 1976 batch. He says, look at future. The way matters are developing, how many would be able to afford them in next 5 years? And then what? What about elders who would need their support the most and badly? What do you say about this, Advocate Jyoti? Because you mentioned that they are earning, and definitely because of the living cost, the cost will increase day by day for a domestic help, even in cities like Mumbai or even a small cities also. Then what is going to happen if they will become unaffordable to many of the households, and where the children have gone abroad or they are not staying with their family and they are leaving the parents with a domestic help, and if they cannot afford, so what will be the future in India without the domestic help, especially for the elders? Advocate Jyoti, please.
Yes, that's a very unfortunate thing, because today also I see that those who are elderly and who are bedridden, and for whom the maid servants, like trained nurses, have to be appointed, and they are charging very, very huge amounts. Like one of my colleagues, his mother was ill and he required a servant for 24 hours. He was paying almost 30,000 per month to such person for day and night duty, day shift and night shift, 2 different servants. So it's very difficult, actually, that there are more difficult times to come. And as far as earning is concerned, even if a person's children are staying abroad, I feel that they should take care and provide monetary funds to their parents. And at least this much care is expected from them, that they should send money to their parents to pay the nurses or the maid servants and take care of them. But as far as money increase is concerned, that is going to happen, that is bound to happen, and we have to deal with it. Now, as far as abroad is concerned, Mr. Goel, that we see that the people, those who can't take care of their mother, father, they keep them in such type of houses where they are taken care of. Like, I won't say age-old, old age homes, but there are some senior citizen homes nowadays who know very well that, yes, so many parents in India are left behind by their children, and the children have settled abroad, and the parents remain here. And what happens to their fate when once they grow old? So this type of people, there are so many senior citizen homes now. They are advertising, yes, they will keep even ill patients in their homes, and they will see to it that they will take all the medical help required, and also all the services to be given to them. So in these cases, it will be only for the children to provide such parents, or if at all, the senior citizens themselves are very well-to-do, only they can afford such type of homes. So there is no going away from this fact that, yes, monetary conditions have to be very perfect to employ such people. Otherwise, I don't know, really, it's a very sad state of affairs as far as India is concerned.
Yes, Advocate Jyoti, what you mentioned was correct. I have done a show recently about the senior citizens only. And the topic was senior citizens, assets or liabilities. And what you mentioned, that those children who are abroad, they cannot afford to take their parents there. Why they can't afford? Because they do not want to it. It's not the question of affordness. They can afford to keep their children with them, but they can't afford to keep their parents with them. This is very unfortunate. When their parents have kept them with them when they were child, I think it's a duty of the, but there is also a flip side of it. The senior citizens should have not spent their entire earnings during the lifetime on their children. If they would have saved, then they don't require any help from their children. They can very well afford the domestic help, and they can very well afford wherever they want to stay. Thank you very much, Advocate Jyoti, for
Thank you so much.
and all the best for the ceremony, which is going to take
Thank you so much.
And give my personal regards and
definitely.
Blessings to Dr. Nikita. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Miss Pooja Yadav. Miss Pooja Yadav is the family counselor at Gurugram. She is a counseling psychologist, certified therapist. She is a meditation therapist. She is a gatekeeper for suicidal prevention. She is consultant and psychologist of In Mindful Dream. She is a specialist in stress management. Welcome, Ms. Pooja Yadav on our show. Ms. Pooja Yadav, you have heard what Advocate Jyoti Pawar has mentioned, as well as what the views given by the senior IAS officer, Mr. Pandey. Now, we would like to know, being a family counselor, I'm sure you might be coming with problems from the family side, from the lady of the house, because if they are not getting a good maid, or if they are getting a good domestic help, they are lots of problems that she's not coming on time, or she's running away, or she's always on the mobile phone, etc. I don't think that this domestic help is coming for your help, because they can't afford to pay your fees. But as a counselor, as yourself have an experience about the domestic help, we would like to know your views on the importance of domestic help. Miss Pooja Yadav, please. Please unmute. Please unmute.
So I'm audible, Mr. Lal?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Lal, for such an excellent question, I must say. For me, my domestic help, I start from myself. My domestic help are like right hand to me. I'm a single person, and when it's come to, if I'm standing on this stage, it is the 90% support is from them. If my house is working in the right direction, it is just because of them. And yes, I agree with Advocate Jyoti. We are facing lots of problems in nowadays society, taking care of the parents. When it's come to the working women, they have to look after their growing children. So when it's come to big importance of the domestic, a big yes from all of us, especially from the working ladies. See, we can't work if we are not able to get the right domestic help. But yes, one thing we have to make sure that we have to go according to the protocol and decorum of a house. A lady of the house should not be so much indulged into the work that they can't look after what exactly is going in their house. Nowadays, when I come across different type of issues when it's come to domestic help, what I come across is a typical topic of India, that is a SARS problem is solved by the domestic help. Earlier days, you must be agree with me that most of the time in your days or in our Dadima's days and all those, people are not able to get the right domestic help. So there are certain issues when it's come to taking care of the housework. Nowadays, that thing is totally resolved. People are quite happy when the house front is looked after by the right people. Right? Nowadays, when I see working girls, I always tell them, make it a balance in your life. Hire good people, hygienic people, but yes, you have to see also certain areas because nowadays wrong things are also in their society and all those. Everyone knows. Most of the time, I generally come across with so many clients when the ladies also IM girl, the boy is also working with IM people, and they doesn't have even a single half an hour for their house. So in that areas, big help from the domestic front, and that is looked after by the right servants. But no doubt, I'm seriously worried about the pay scale and all those. For example, if you take my example, I am a person who goes for the life insurance. There are certain things when it's come to my own personal servants. I got people who work for me when it's come to taking care of the food and all those. They are with me from last 14 to 15 years. So now they are like a family members to me, right? Mr. Goel, nowadays society is leading towards, I fully agree with you in between when you had mentioned that nowadays children doesn't have time. I fully agree with you. It means they don't want to do it. Otherwise, looking after the parents is not such a big thing. When it's come to me, I got a mother-in-law of 90 years old. I take out time to take care of her when she really needs me. But yes, for the daily things, we had kept a little bit help when it's come to taking care of small things of the house. And nowadays, when it's come to the girls, I want to convey to them, see, when if you go for a nice and happy married life, be a balanced person. We need domestic help, but you have to take care of the house, where your kids are there, where your senior people are there, how they are treated by the domestic people. So when it's come to domestic help, the main responsibility of the person is that is the lady of the house. When it's come to gents, I had seen so many men, those who are working abroad, those who are working in different parts of the country, they are not with their parents or with their wife. Again, a big help from this front. So nowadays we are living such a society, it's a joint venture. We should look after them, we should give respect, and same goes for them. They are also on the same front line. Nowadays, I had seen lots of right working people. Say, for example, my mate, she belongs from a good family, she's a well-educated person. I try to take her along with me to certain areas. I try to tell her what type of rights she got so that nothing can be misused from her side by the people. For example, if she is going to shift from my house to somewhere else, I had given the insurance, I had given the medical awareness to that lady. I try to help her out to find a right account in the bank. These are the things where our owner should take care of the domestic help. And but yes, I again and again I'm saying, because I generally deal with the cases of the small kids. I got so many cases of the when it's come to misbehaving by the domestic help to the growing children. That was my main issue, and I'm seriously terrified by the incident I had seen and come across with the new born babies and with the new moms, because they blindly trust these people. I'm sorry, please take care of house. Domestic help is only help. It can be your right hand, but it can't be your full body, right? So when it's come to domestic help, fantastic things are working in India, no doubt, but certain things are coming in our society that is not acceptable, because we as an Indian, there are certain things we just can't compete with the abroad. Our culture is different, our mentality is different. So when it's come to taking care of the senior citizens also, I request all my clients, please sit with your senior people, just see, because when a servant come to know that madam or saab ke paas time nahi hai, then the wrong things start. So have trust on them, but don't do the blind trust, first of all. Second thing, they should be aware of the right, but they should be known that if certain things, put up your cameras, because I'm a person, I don't believe anyone 109% myself also. So when it's come to domestic help, nowadays people are so much into the servants. That's why you can see and observe. If we remember that case of that famous doctor where their daughter was murdered, right? So these things should not happen in our society. It is just helping hand. It is not the whole body. So mind it. I totally agree with the advocate Jyoti that when she told that there are certain acts, the first of all we should be aware of that. What type of act we got in India, and where we can be helped out by the police department and the advocate people and the law and all those. And the second thing, the domestic people also should be taken care of by the right educated people, so that their work should not be misused. When it's come to their working profile, I don't know why Indian government still up to yet haven't finalized anything up to these type of people. If a person is giving 30,000, as she mentioned, to the domestic well, I don't know what about the other people where we are leading to. Don't do that. Please make a fixed thing, because certain people can afford, certain people can't afford, right? So in this competitive world, I don't know, now we have to sit sometime. The government has to take care of certain areas where, because nowadays it is one of the most important part of all our life. When it's come to man is also working, woman is also working. For example, I move back to my house sometime around 10:30. I just need food that is laid out on the dining table. For that, I definitely need a person who can cook for me, but I make it ensure I put the cameras, so that thing should be worked out in a nice and smooth way. Thank you, Mr. Lal.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pooja Yadav, for giving your views. And Ms. Pooja Yadav says that you should trust but not overtrust. She says that domestic help is really boon for the Indian households, but one has to treat them in a proper way. And she says that if you require, you please put up the cameras also to watch her activities. Don't leave the young kids with them. She has mentioned about the ROC case. If I'm not mistaken, you have mentioned about that
you're right.
ROC case of a famous ROC case. Although still the mysteries whether it was domestic help or the parents, nobody knows who was murdered till now. But anyway, but what she says is that she's getting lots of cases where there's complaint about the domestic help, how they are mistreating, or so her advice is that you must trust them, but don't leave the children or the elders to them. You must take care of your household. You have to take their help, but you should not leave your household totally on the domestic help. She says that the government should also subsidize, because to afford 30,000 rupees from in a household is not easy. So for that, one should see to it that the government should also come out with the schemes. Although in abroad or other countries, they are getting a good amount. They charge per hour, and people are paying. Who can afford? Who cannot afford? They are doing their work themselves. But unfortunately, in India, we say that we are busy, over busy, but we don't have time at our home to clean our own our doings. We want everything should be done by others, because it's a fault of the society mindset, I can say, because the mother has pampered, or the grandmother or the grandparents have pampered the child so much that when he or she becomes adults, they also want that their work should be done by someone else because it was done by the parents. And that is the reason that they are dependent on domestic help. But abroad, it is not like that. The children are independent, and that's why they used to do their own work. Even if they are tired in the night, they see that their utensils are clean, they put in the dishwasher, switch on the dishwasher, they put all the clothes in the washing machine, etc. But in India, we are more dependent on them. But unfortunately, we are not giving them the requisite facilities which they require. If we are giving them that much work, are we also capable to do that much work? We have seen in COVID time how the people cried that the domestic help is not coming, and what we will do. We are totally now suffering like that. So it's a matter of both the things. Trust, and according to Ms. Pooja Yadav, trust but not much. You should not over trust. Give them the facilities, see that they will get the medical facilities, insurance. If they are going somewhere, see to it that they should reach safely, all those things. But see to it that they will also not ill-treat your parents or elders or the children. Thank you very much, Ms. Pooja Yadav, for giving your views. When I will come in the next round, definitely I will ask the question to you. But now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Rotarian Ritika Gupta. Rotarian Ritika Gupta is the CEO of Maa Saraswati Hospital, Mathura. She is a Bachelor in Engineering, IT from Pune University and an MBA Finance from ICFAI University, Hyderabad. She worked with HDFC Bank in the credit department. She is working closely with her family educational ventures of Gyan Mahavidyalaya and chain of industrial training institutes, ITIs. She is keenly interested in fitness and wellness. She is a firm believer of a sustainable lifestyle with fitness for mind and body. She pursues meditation for calmness of the mind and yoga for the fitness of the body. She recently pursued a professional course in face yoga and have started taking coaching for the same. Welcome, Rotarian Ritika Gupta, on our show. Rotarian Ritika Gupta, you have heard the views of Advocate Jyoti Pawar, Senior IAS Officer Mr. Pandey, Ms. Pooja Yadav. And they all are saying that the importance, they have given the importance of domestic health because according to them, people are dependent on the domestic help. Without them, the life is very difficult, which they have seen during the COVID time. But they also say that many of, I will say the majority of the households are not providing the facilities. Ms. Pooja Yadav, please mute yourself. Ms. Pooja Yadav,
Sure.
please mute yourself.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. So majority of the houses are not providing the requisite facilities which the household, which the domestic health deserves. And when we compare with other countries, we see the drastic difference. Now we would like to know, because you being the CEO of a hospital, you are also looking after the educational institutions, and you are also dealing with your domestic health. We would like to know your views on the importance of domestic health. Rotarian Ritika Gupta, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Goel, for having me on this panel. And so I am completely in line with the previous two speakers on the fact that having domestic help is a complete boon for Indians. So much so that, even the Indians who may have gone out of the country still miss the hospitality that they get back in our country because of the domestic help system that we have around us. And that is also a criteria for so many people settling abroad, wherein they are okay to maybe settle in Dubai because it is relatively easier to have a domestic help there rather than going further out to the west. So we can totally understand the mindset of a normal Indian who is completely dependent on domestic help. So while it is domestic helps are a part of the unorganized and the unskilled sector. So this is, I mean, when I was doing the research on this particular topic, I was completely shaken by the fact that the unorganized sector of people who work in this unorganized sector is massive. It is more than 90%, which is unbelievable. And while we may feel that we have domestic help and we are so dependent on them, this is going to be a far-fetched dream in near future, because as we see, none of our domestic helps have their children who are sitting at home. Everybody is ensuring that their children also study, and which is going to ensure that they will move into a furthermore better life than what their parents had, because they were working in a domestic household. So I really feel that while we may be dependent on it, but India is also fast approaching an automatic life wherein we have to automize our, work. Say, for example, the dishwashers were a very, very uncommon thing pre-COVID, but during the COVID times, people realized that, having a dishwasher is a necessity because the household help was not, easily available. So I really feel that India is also progressing towards an automized lifestyle, and that domestic help may be a difficult thing to have in the future. And also, there's so many organizations that have been set up to actually inform the domestic helps and the unorganized sector about their rights. The fact that, so I actually disagree with the previous two speakers on the fact that the domestic helps are not cared for. So out of probably 750 million households that we are talking about who may be having domestic helps, there may be just a few hundreds or a few thousands that probably treat their domestic helps as family members. In other millions and millions of households, there is too much of violation of any such, there's degradation of basically a person who's working for them, because it is not considered as a skilled job wherein, and it is not something that only one person who's coming to your household can do. There's always a surplus of, people who are moving from relatively rural areas into urban areas in search of work. So there's always a surplus of people who may be available to work for you. And what work one person may be doing, it's not like the other cannot fill in for that. It's just that some amount of training will go in for the other new person, but it is not something that only one person can do, which is why this is a very, very big sector in which there is a lot of we do not value the work that is being done for us. So that is why, I would like to say that domestic help, while we may be completely dependent on it now, but we are soon moving towards the Western culture as well, wherein the domestic helps will also be very well aware of their rights. And as ma'am was mentioning that, 30,000 is being paid for taking care of an old person, so senior citizen. So probably that is the work that, a nurse should be taken care of, rather than a unskilled person who is being put with a senior citizen taking care of that person. a, a domestic help who's uneducated, unskilled, can only just provide maybe a glass of water, and maybe help the person to take him to the washroom in the night. But the actual help that a senior citizen maybe need would be that of a nurse, which can be either a male or a female nurse. And that kind of a job does come for the amount or even more that ma'am mentioned earlier. And there are already nurses specifically who are providing this job rather than servants. So the domestic help, maybe childcare also. So there has been so many incidents wherein, like ma'am was mentioning, that children are left without their parents. But I mean, it is a situation which really does not have any other alternative. Either you live with your joint family members, wherein your parents and your children and you yourself are living together, which is not very, very, it is not 100% thing to happen, because so many times the grandparents may be attached to their hometown, and they may not want to move on to an urban lifestyle that their children are living in, completely automated cities wherein there's, so I don't think that each and every parent first of all is ready to give up their life and move with their children. So that is one thing. Secondly, the crèche system in India is not very strong, wherein you can leave your child outside. And there are so many reservations in terms of hygiene that people have. So the best option that they feel is to have a house help at home, or a child care, who will probably take care of their child in the familiar surroundings of home, right? So that is why I feel that it parents may be bound to follow in that kind of a system. If both the parents are working, there is no other alternative but to have a house help to be able to raise a family. And we cannot say that you should not have family if in case you both are working. After all, we are talking about women also who should be prioritizing their career just like a man, because they are no less educated, or have not spent any less amount of money on their education. So that situation will arise. But the trust factor, as we talk about the same domestic helps, or the people who come for taking care of the child abroad, they are registered servants or registered helps who have a certain amount of skill set. But in India, we try to save on those bucks, that amount of money, from being registered or a registered help to moving to an unskilled help, because they feel it's not a job that requires any skill, whereas it is a job that requires skill, because child handling is not anybody's cup of tea. You really need to be educated enough to be able to deal with a child and to handle a child in a particular situation. So that is where Indians tend to save on the money, and which is why they end up being in situations that are common things in India. But we have not, I mean, it's not a very common thing to have heard about, child abuse by the nanny who's taking care of the child. So it is that kind of a situation, and that is has arisen because of the fact that we are more dependent on unskilled segment, and we are not willing to pay the minimum wages that the domestic help also deserves. So basically, the way forward should be that, that there should be small organizations that should be set up in different areas, not just one organization that is set up in a city, because a city is very, very big, but they should be set up in small areas, just like there's a police, station or hospital. There should be some kind of or a domestic help agency that takes care of the rights of the domestic health, wherein the people are also informed about what is the amount of work that they have to fill in for the amount of wage that they are getting. Just like how an hourly work is paid for, similarly even the domestic help should be aware. Once they are aware, definitely the pay will go up, lesser people will be able to afford having a domestic help, but we can definitely hope for a more seamless experience. Abroad, so many people say that so all of us who may have traveled abroad feel so highly of the people who come there, because they come with their gadgets, they work for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and your house is pick and span. And which cannot be done even when a house help is taking care of your house every single day. That is because they have the resources, they know their rights, they are well trained in the work that they are about to do. So it is that what needs to be filled in here. If we have that kind of a segment where people are trained well in the work that they are hired for, then the fallouts will be much lesser. So that is what I had to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Ritika Gupta, for giving your views. And what Rotarian Ritika Gupta says that there no doubt there is an importance for the domestic help. And she says that 90% of the domestic helps are unorganized sector, means they are not getting the dues which they are deserves to get, because nobody is taking care of them. But she says that India is also now progressive. They are also following the optimization like Western countries. So gradually, people are depending more on the gadgets like dishwasher and washing machines, which earlier it was done by the domestic help. She also mentioned that when we talk about the money, which our earlier panelist mentioned, she says that the money one has to consider like about the taking care of the elderly people. She says that nurses to be employed, and I know that if you are going to employ a nurse for 24 hours, it may cost to you between 2,000 to 3,000 rupees per day. So if you are ready to spend that much money, but according to Rotarian Gupta, people are compromising this part, and they want to save the money, so they try to employ unskilled person, and then they blame the domestic help, which is not correct. She also mentioned about the child abuse by the domestic help. She said it is not that much prevailing in India, which is there in Western country. But only thing is because in India, the child care centers, the creches, etc., are not that much, which is there in West. But now, especially the cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Gurugram, and other, these things are coming up in small cities also. So only thing what she says that she has made one a point, a special point. She says why the boys think that they are not going to do any work at home. They also been educated as the girls were educated. The girls education was also, the money was spent on the same amount what the for the boy. So that, but the mindset is changing. The time is changing, but still we have to take care of the domestic help, because she says the domestic help also wants that her child or the children should also get education, so that they can also progress, they can also work. So she says that there is no doubt that there is lots of importance is there. They are very, very important as far as the domestic help is concerned. But we have to think, we have to also change our mindset. We have to do the automation, try to do that work, which she can do only those work to be given. Rest work we can do if we can. Thank you very much, Rotarian Gupta. When I will come next, I will definitely ask some difficult question on this. Now, I would like to invite my last but not the least panelist, and she is Miss Khushbu Rewatkar. Miss Khushbu Rewatkar is an executive coach, model, and actor. She is Senior Vice President, Ekal Yuva, New Delhi. She is the brand ambassador of Pro Cucina Model Kitchen brand. She is National Excellence Award winner, Model of the Year 2018. She is Tata Consultancy Services Super Achiever Women Award 2018. She is also winner of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Memorial Award 2018. She has taken initiatives in social service such as Happy Birthday to Me, Happy Birthday to Us, to celebrate birthday with underprivileged special children. Anadan, let's do our bit to serve food to needy. She has raised awareness through fashion walk and educational talks against acid attack, against rape, breast cancer, child education, menstrual hygiene, health and well-being. Welcome, Ms. Khushbu Rewatkar on our show. Ms. Khushbu, you have heard what Advocate Jyoti Pawar, Mr. Pandey, Ms. Pooja Yadav, Ms. Rotarian Ritika Gupta has mentioned. Different views, but the main thing is that the domestic help is doing lots of work. They are very important, integral part of our Indian household, but they are not getting the things which they deserve, whether we are not paying them that much or whether we are not giving the perks which they are entitled, because we are totally dependent on them. Now, you are a champion. I am seeing lots of your newses which you are sending to me. You are doing lots of work for the women empowerment. And hats off to you. In such age you are doing, it's a really good thing. I must appreciate you. So you are all, when you are talking about the women empowerment, how you forget the domestic help, which is everywhere in everyone's household. We are not talking about them. We have seen all the services club, they go, they celebrate, go for some women empowerment, put the banners, give the speeches, then they will have tea, coffee, dinner, etc., whatnot, and then they forget that their own household have a domestic help where the women empowerment is required. What you say about this, about the today's topic, which is very, very important, that is importance of domestic help. Ms. Khushbu Rewatkar, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for having me to discuss this important topic in India. And as previously my co-panelist has mentioned that this is an unorganized sector. So my very first point is that there is a high time for government to convert into organized sectors, because now, like my co-panelist has mentioned, that the maids are earning more than 30,000, and in the higher class, if you see, they are getting paid in lakhs. So if you see this, the amount that they are earning right now, and the amount even engineer is earning, the IT companies are paying for the freshers around 20,000. And if a maid is earning 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, there is no accountability of that amount that is going on. Even the person from the IT or any of the sector has to file a ITR. But in for this, because this is an unorganized sector, this amount is not getting counted. So I think, and fortunately now Aadhaar card has come in. So in societies, it is mandatory to for all the maids to have an Aadhaar card. So now it is easy for the government to create an account so that the money goes, so that now there is no clear picture that how much the maids are earning these days and how, where the money is going. Because now there are a lot of policies which government has bring in for the lower poverty line people. They are giving free ration and a lot of other things in for the free. But then are they really in that category? Is everyone in that category? That is not being monitored. So I feel that it is high time, because even the influencers are now eligible to file the ITR for the amount that they are earning in thousands. So even so that is why I feel there is a high need. And as my co-panelist has mentioned, there is a huge amount of population which is working today as a domestic help. So I feel if this gets organized, it will be we can devise a lot of strategies, and even we can come up with the PPF and other policies which will secure the future for the domestic help. So I feel that there is a high time to get it organized. And with this organization, if the bank account is linked, even the like government is paying to the education of those domestic help, the money which is getting directly transferred to the account. I think SBI is the one which is working with the government for the education of the children. The amount is getting transferred. For that, they need mandatory the bank account and the Aadhaar card. So I think government has created certain policies, but since it is unorganized, there are a lot of challenges which are being taken advantage by few people and also by the domestic help. Now, coming to the domestic help education of the children, I personally have taken my maid and her children to the government school. I personally spoke to the principal of the government school. Their children, I spoke to the children of the government school. They were so confident, and the principal was facing the challenge that the maids are not sending their children to the school because they want their children to also earn money. So there is now, and then after enrolling my maid, I also invited my maid's husband to my home, and I explained him the importance of the education, which because the children were very much bright when I taught them. I used to teach them for 2 hours every day. But then after doing so much of efforts, she finally did not enroll the children in the government school. She gave me different reasons for not sending the children to the school. So I feel that we are always saying that their children are not getting educated, but we have to see what are the things that they are not doing just because of money. Everyone wants to earn a lot of money. In my society, there are 28 towers, and in 28, each tower has 14 this floors, and each floor has four flats. So there is a lot of employment available. But and then these maids are like for 2 hours they are earning 5,000. So likewise till the evening they earn at least 30,000 per month. So where this money is going, and still they are not sending the children. So there is a lot of I think, like my co-panelist Ritika has mentioned, there is a psychology study we have to do. And then there is a greed also. If something I'm buying at my house, immediately my maid will say, I also want this thing for me. So then when this kind of psychology is coming on, then the theft and then the crime happens. So I feel that as much as we see the psychology of other people, we have to see the psychology of this domestic help, why the crimes are happening. In a very popular incident which happened recently in Mumbai, a celebrity, with reference to her friend, she has hired a cook, and it was she said she could not afford, but because it was through reference she hired. Now the cook has started the thefts in the house, and also when they laid off the cook, he said that he will kill the family members. And then the FIR is registered, and she is now so much afraid that my child might get impacted. So there, no matter, and nowadays even if the FIR is filed, he may get released on the bail. So these are various challenges which are happening because there is no psychological study. Like everyone in this today's generation is in the rat race. At the same time, I see the maids are also in the race, that they want to earn more money in the short time. And secondly, when they are doing the like 5,000 rupees of work in 1 hour, 2 hour, they are compromising highly on the hygiene. And after the COVID, it is very much seen that how much hygiene is important. If I don't watch my maid, she says, I have done this, I have washed the fruit, or I have washed the vegetable. But many a times when I watch her, I see she is not doing, but still she is conveying to me, I did it. So I think if we organize this sector, we can train on the hygiene issues also, because they are not doing at their home. So they are habituate of doing it. So many a times I ask, do you treat your like family members also in the same way? So how? So see, it is very normal for her to be unhygienic. She says, "इतना time कहाँ होता है इतना सब करने के लिए?" They don't use the cloth to wipe off their hands and everything. So there are a lot of hygiene issues which I see. So Of course, in the family, it is the duty of every member to monitor, because alone a woman cannot take care, because everyone in the family is working. So like, we in our family especially, we have divided that somebody will monitor the work she's doing, because everything we cannot do. That is also a fact, that no matter how much we automate the kitchen, we have dishwasher, we have washing machine, everything, but then since we are working for 16 to 18 hours, we get tired, and definitely we need someone to at least do the basic work. But yes, the involvement is very much necessary for every family member. Now coming to the male family members, I see like the careers are getting spoiled because of the wrong allegations done by the domestic help. One of the very famous Bollywood actor has completely lost his career because of the allegations. True or false, that's a different thing. But I have seen maids who are not properly dressed, so it becomes difficult for single men to have a maid at home when they are alone. Because even at my home also, many a times I have asked her to dress properly, but she, in spite of continuously telling her, she's still not dressing properly. So no matter how so this is not always the problem of the people who are hiring. It is also now who will teach them, how much a person can teach them. So I think if we organize this huge sector, which is so much important for every household in India, we can train them at least for the basic values and also the basic hygiene. So these are a few of my opinions about the domestic help. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Khushbu. And Miss Khushbu has given a total different views on the program. The program was the importance of the domestic help, and she has given out lots of things. Especially, she mentioned one very important point is about the unorganized sector. She says that they are earning 30,000-40,000 rupees. Where the money goes, no one knows, no income tax return, etc. Although, Miss Khushbu, majority of the maids, if you see their household, the husband of the maid is drinking, doing nothing, and that's why they have to work so much. So whatsoever the money she's getting, even 30,000 rupees, as half of their money is spent on the liquor, daru of that male person, the husband, and the rest is on the child. And that's why our India, the children of the maid servants or the domestic help they don't want to go to the school, because they are seeing the condition of their house, how the father is beating the mother after she's coming from the household work. This is the reality, and that's why they are not interested to do the organized work. They are doing here and there, and they do not want their children to go for education. Even you might have seen that even although it's banned in India for the child labor, but the children of the domestic help for 12 years or 10 years, they are also started working in the household. Whose fault lies there, Ms. Khushbu? It's not the fault of the domestic help. Fault lies with us, the civil society. We are paying them cash. We do not want to show in our income tax thing. That's why and we are not understanding the condition in which they are staying. They might be getting good amount, but the way their husband is treating, that is one of the main factor of the. Otherwise, tell me which lady wants to do the dirty work, the cleaning of the dirty linen or cleaning the dirty utensils of anyone else. This is the reason, and that's the thing. But you have made a very valid point that the government should come and see to it should be organized. But I think more than the government, we, the civil society, should take the thing. Like you have mentioned, that we have so many towers, so many households. If your society, which consists of so many towers, so many households, if they fix up that whatsoever the money will be paid to the domestic help, it should go to the bank. They will have their own school where all the domestic help has to send their children compulsorily, and somebody should see what the husband is doing. And this is not only in Delhi or Gurugram, it's across the India. The husbands, generally, if you say, I'm talking generally, I'm not talking everyone, but the majority cases, that's why they are working. Otherwise, no one wants to do such type of work. But anyway, and second point, which you have mentioned about that how they are revealing their body by putting some very flimsy clothes, etc. Yes, it happens, but Here also I will say it depends on the employer. If you will tell, no, we do not want like this, then why they will come? One has to be strict. One has to mention very clearly. After all, it is not the question of the male person, but also it affects very badly on the children, the future of the child. So one has to be very strict. It is not that we can blame them only. It might be sometimes it happens that they don't have that much good clothes to cover the entire body because they have lots of expenses. And we have seen the domestic help have 3, 4, 5 children. Now, this is also one of the reasons that they have to feed them, as well as you have mentioned about that they are very greedy. Yes, it is a human nature. If somebody sees that you have got something new, a good toy for your child, they also feel sometimes that why not my child will not play with the thing. But yes, you are right. We should bring them in organized sector. We should, government should also come forward, give them such type of facilities which they are giving to others, which their minimum guarantee scheme which they are giving. Why not they are also coming out with a scheme when the compulsory education for the domestic help children, see to it that the husband should also work, and they should see to it that they will not have a domestic violence in the domestic help house also. Thank you very much, Ms. Khushbu, for giving your views. Very strong views. And I feel that now, because of your views, many people will think that why we are paying in cash, why not we transfer the amount? Especially the advantage will for the domestic help will be that she can save some money from her husband, who is just a alcoholic person or drug addict and is spoiling the is spending the money. Thank you very much. Now I would like to go back to Ms. Pooja. Ms. Pooja Yadav, there is a message from Professor Dr. R.K. Arya. He is the Professor of International Economics at Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad. And her thing is, domestic help are not given fair treatment, which is unethical. In case we take harsh and extra work, no complaint can be registered because police cannot verify it. Therefore, housewives are expected to show apathy to them. Money cannot be a substitute of the unclean hard work. Therefore, more you will be kind to the helpless, more God is pleased. Otherwise, taking the curse every day will be too much in one's life. Do you agree? Do you agree with this? His views. He says the domestic help people, we are paying them, but money cannot be a substitute for that type of dirty work. And whatsoever extra work the people are taking or ill-treating them, they cannot go to the police because police cannot verify that you have scolded them, except if you have done in a very in a violent way. If you have given some capital punishment, then they can verify. Otherwise, they cannot. So, do you agree with this? His views of Professor Dr. R.K. Arya? Ms. Pooja Yadav, please unmute yourself. Please unmute.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do I am audible, Mr. Lal?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with the professor that yes, in my life also I had come across certain cases where a child of around 12 to 13 years, one of my neighbor only, she had a child from Bihar, and whenever I used to look at the child, she was not properly given food. She was given punishment in the full day sunlight just because she had eaten the sweets or whatever it is. I know it is totally unethical and inhuman. But in India, that's what most of my panelists have mentioned it. Here the government role is more important. As a normal person, as a common mass, we can't bring a change. We can just be a support in the change. But when it's come to bringing a change, जैसे संविधान में जब लिखा जाता है, तो लोग उसको फॉलो करते हैं. अभी आपने बोला सोसाइटी में ऐसा होना चाहिए, मिस्टर लाल. कई बार हम अपने घर में बदलाव ला सकते हैं. सोसाइटी में बदलाव लाने के लिए लॉ शुड बी नीडेड. एक गवर्नमेंट की बहुत बड़ी पहचान होती है ताकि सब लोग उस चीज को मान सके. आई टोटली एग्री विद द प्रोफेसर. बट यस, नाउअडेज मैंने ये भी देखा है, नाउ डोमेस्टिक हेल्प जो है, दे आर स्मार्ट पीपल, दे टेक केयर ऑफ देयर थिंग्स. तो बहुत ही कम चांसेस होते हैं जहां पे डोमेस्टिक हेल्प को इल ट्रीट किया जाता है, बट होता है. देयर आर 15 to 25% केसेस. बट आजकल जो मेरे पास जो केसेस आ रहे हैं, एज अ सेक्रेटरी आई एम टेलिंग यू, यहाँ पे डोमेस्टिक हेल्प की तरफ से प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट ज्यादा की जा रही है. खासकर द न्यूलीवेड कपल, नॉन एक्सपीरियंस कपल, जिनको अपना शहर छोड़ना पड़ता है बाहर जाके काम करने के लिए, अपने न्यूबॉर्न बेबीज को छोड़ने के लिए। सो यहाँ पे मैंने कोशिश की थी लोगों को बताने के लिए कि अपने घर की तरफ ध्यान दीजिए। वी आर इंडियंस बाय द हार्ट, बाय द माइंड एंड बाय द कल्चर। अपने लोगों की अगर हम खुद लुक आफ्टर नहीं करेंगे, हाउ कैन वी एक्सपेक्ट कि हमारा सर्वेंट उसको हेल्प कर रहा है? नहीं, आप उसकी हेल्प ले सकते हैं, बट डोंट डिपेंड ऑन देम। अगर एक माँ अपने बच्चों को संभाल सकती है तो एक बेटा क्यों नहीं संभाल सकता है? बट यस, आई एग्री विद मिस्टर प्रोफेसर दैट थिंग्स नीड्स टू बी टेकन केयर ऑफ, जहां पे उनके साथ इल ट्रीट किया जाता है। पीपल शुड स्टैंड फॉर देम।
Okay, thank you very much. Now my next question goes to Rotarian Ritika Gupta. This question has come from Miss Hemlata, former airport manager, Chennai. And the question is, do the domestic helper get their respect and dignity which they deserve in India or not? Rotarian Ritika Gupta, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Goel, for the question. Well, that is actually what is the problem in the Indian household, because when they feel like they are paying a person who is not educated, who is unskilled, and who is doing the menial job of taking care of the house, which can be easily replaced. It is not a job that cannot be replaced. And as I said, there's always a surplus of rural population moving towards the urban cities for search of work, which is why it is a very big problem in India that the house helps are not given the due respect for the work that they are doing, which is why there should be some kind of small associations around every city in small areas to take care, or rather inform the people of their rights. The situation that they are in, the house helps, wherein they are not even able to put food on the table, they are not able to think on those lines what their rights are at the end of the day or at the end of the month, being a blue collar job, being a unskilled labor, they just want to bring food to the table. So all these things do not even cross their minds, which is why there may not be instances of the person leaving the job immediately, even after being insulted on job. So that is a very big menace that needs to be taken care of, and can be done when there are small organizations that are put up in small cities to take care and inform them about their rights.
Okay, thank you, Rotarian Ritika Gupta. Now my question goes to Ms. Khushbu. Ms. Khushbu, this question has come from Priya Ji from USA, and her question is domestic help intrude the privacy, especially in nuclear family? If yes, what is the solution? What you have mentioned in your thing, that they are wearing some revealing clothes, etc., and they are not well dressed. So the question is, many places we have seen in the nuclear family that the privacy which they require, that's been intruded by the domestic help. So what is the solution for that, and especially the nuclear family?
So you are mentioning the privacy of the family?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I feel see, it's a personal decision how much the involvement of a maid is required. Personally, at times I also feel that she should leave early, and so that we can have some conversations and we can do some art personal work, and that space is very much important for us. But then if that is the requirement, then I have to ensure that she does her work in time. And because definitely the maid is very much watchful, as per my personal experience, they are very much watchful what is happening in the house, what I am wearing, what I am not. She will comment on me, she will ask me, why are you doing this, why this is has been brought in the house. So they are very much watchful. The privacy is definitely, but yes, we have to limit as an individual how much we are sharing with the maid, because the crimes are happening, the involvement is getting, and they are not so much literate enough to understand the challenges they are facing. They are only seeing the good part. They don't know how much it takes to reach till this position. So they don't know that path that we have traveled. They just see the flourished house, but to make this house, they compare our house with their houses. So I feel the privacy issue is always there, because if somebody is entering into the house, even the neighbor or the relative or any a friend, they will always see what is there in the house. So the privacy is definitely getting interrupted. But then to limit it, it is something that up to us. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Now my question goes to Miss Pooja Yadav. This question is again sent by the Miss Hemlata, the airport manager, Chennai. A single absent will disturb our day-to-day schedule. The current legislations are ineffective. Is legal precaution and red tape can change the situation going out of hand? What are the remedial measures? So basically, it's a legality. She wants to know ki when a single day she is not coming, we all become so much desperate that today that the how domestic help has not come, and we have seen in many of the houses the mood of the lady of the house or the even the male, they all become so disturbed. The entire their schedule is disturbed if the how the domestic help is not coming. So why we are not giving them the legal things, their dues according to what Miss Hemlata has asked?
No, that is the dependency we had made on them. Why they need us so much of dependency? Can't we work in our own house for our own work for 1 day or 2 days? For example, in our society, we had mentioned it. Every male or female servant will get 2 days leave in a month, and it is very much necessary. The way we get the important work to be done, same thing goes for their house also. I just don't understand that why people are so much dependent on them.
But Miss Pooja, why 2 days leave? I think in all the sectors it's not 2 days. Some days 4 days or even 8 days. But why we are giving 2 days? Because we want them to work even 31 days or 30 days. Anyway, thank you very much. Now my question goes to Rotarian Ritika Gupta. You have mentioned that the domestic help is required and this thing, and we are depending because now husband and wife are working. In the old times, there used to be a das pratha.
I didn't hear. I'm so
Can you hear me
sorry, I
now?
didn't hear. As in, I think the network is poor.
Can you hear me now?
I can partially hear. Yes, I can hear now.
Okay. Now the thing is, in earlier times, there used to be a das pratha where people used to buy the servants. They used to they purchase in the auction, and then they used to keep them at home for their domestic work. Are we going to the same way that we are keeping them, we are exploiting them, we are not giving their legal dues? Like Ms. Pooja Yadav says, 2 days leave. Why 2 days leave? What is the entitlement for a working women today? Forget about the men. Working women, how many leaves, how many sick leaves, how many maternity leaves are we giving to them? In India now, the 6 months maternity leave is there, paid. Are we giving to our domestic help? If not, then don't you think we are exploiting them, Rotarian Ritika Gupta? We are not doing anything. They are doing lots of work for us and we are exploiting them. What do you say about this?
That's a very difficult question. While I am completely against slavery and I just do not support that system, but that being said, I myself may not be following that ritual of, though I ensure a 2-day leave to my house help, domestic help, but it is still not at par with the rights that they actually deserve for the work that they do, because it is in no way menial. Any job is not menial as per me. If I have to bring food to the table, I'm ready to do any kind of work according to my skill set. Now, their skill set is such that they are working for the work that they are doing. But yet again, the respect, I mean, I feel that if you treat them well, if you give them due respect for the work that they do for you with gratitude, then they may be themselves happily willing to come to work even without, demanding. Like people of our stature, we have so many other social commitments. They do not call any of those as commitments. They feel like they take leaves only when it is of utmost importance to them. So, if you express gratitude for the work that they do, they might even just forego their important work and come to you for help. But it all just depends.
Rotarian Ritika Gupta, if the employer of a multinational also give gratitude to the women worker or the women employee, Will they also work and they will say, okay, we will come and we will only take 2 days leave. We don't want maternity leave
No,
for
no,
6 months.
because I
So
am very well informed.
so it means we are exploiting them, not this thing. Anyway, thank you very much. Now my question goes
We
to Ms.
are
Khushbu.
informed about our rights. That is
Yeah.
what I've been continuously saying, that they need to be informed. Unless and until they are not informed, they shall be taken undue advantage of, and
Okay.
not one household can actually change it.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Khushbu Rivatkar, what Ms. Rotin and Ritika Gupta says that they should be informed their rights. Now, the way you have spoken today, either it's because of your some personal experience or experience of your colleagues or someone, that you are talking against the domestic help. I am saying no. They are not again. They are what they are doing. They are obliging all of us. Today, if one day they take leave for some reason, for medical reason, the entire day, if you see the cost, because if the husband and wife both are working, they have to bring the food from outside, and if they're the families of 8 people, how much it costs. So money wise, they are saving lots of money. They are doing all those works which how the husband and wife are they are not interested to do, and we are exploiting them. We are giving 2 days off. That is also in some good families. What about others? They are keeping them, as you mentioned. Someone mentioned that from Bihar and other West Bengal, they are bringing them. They are keeping them for months together, and then they go. So my question to you is: are we exploiting the domestic help, or we are really generous and helping them, and they are exploiting us? Miss Khushbu, 1 minute only, please.
Yes, sir. I feel that this is very much situation based. Firstly, my point is why there is an exploitation word is coming, because there is no respect for the maid. A 20,000 earning IT employee gets a respect, but a 20,000 earning maid is not getting respect. Now, this respect, like my co-panelist has mentioned, this has to be, the respect will be given if it is made an organized sector, and if it is like the government has to bring in, because this has to come from top to bottom. Of course, we as a human has a responsibility to treat them with respect and with generosity and with consideration, but I think the respect has to come from the higher level. Secondly, what I want to say that we get disturbed. I've been working in a multinational company, and if one day if one of the employees is not there, he gets screwed up, not because that the person is upset, because there is an impact of on the deliverables. We are working for like lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees. So if I have to like because of my maid, I have to take a leave to take care of children or my old age parents, then there is an impact in the subsequent actions. So I think that
Okay.
that is
Okay, Miss Khushbu,
yeah, thank
but
you.
my same thing will come to you.
Yeah.
That you can be taken care. The company can take task. Can you remove your help only if she will not come for a day? You cannot afford, because you know that it is very difficult to get a replacement today for domestic help. But yes, you have made a point that one has to be very, very careful. But we know that what is the situation. Anyway, thank you very much. So viewers, today you have seen the importance of the domestic help. Although there are different views, someone says they are very important. Somebody says they have been even the civil society is exploiting them. We are not giving their rights. Although Ms. Khushbu mentioned that they are getting more than an IT engineer, but that is in the initial stage. What that IT engineer is going to get after 3 years or 5 years or 10 years of service, the domestic help will get only that much, or with an increment of 5,000 or 10,000 rupees, not in lakhs. So we cannot compare an IT engineer with a domestic help. That is one. Secondly, are we exploiting them? Yes, we are exploiting them. Because if we compare ourselves, we want to be a wish guru, we have to understand that all the human beings, they all are humans, whether they are unskilled, whether they are illiterate, they are also Indians. They are also one of us. Why we are taking the work from them like a slave? It's a slavery. They are helping us. They are obliging us if they are working and if they are doing our dirty linen. Why we are not doing ourselves? We do not want to do. just to take an excuse. There is no excuse. Every household, everyone goes to the movies during weekend. They go to they go here and there to hotels, etc., to the resorts. But at that time, they can't clean their house. And that is why we have to follow the Western culture, as Dr. Nitika Gupta says. We have to automize our houses. We have to give them the dignity. And the government should see to it that all those who are uneducated, they should be educated. So tomorrow there should be no domestic help. Everyone should do their own work. And then they will know the time plan management. They will understand the time management, not the slavery which is still going on. Thank you very much. Today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Karu
Thank
News,
you.
V4 Stream, Malapu TV India, NewsGaon se Samvad Saroka News, Bharat Post News, as Gyan, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our angular is always to bring such type of issues. And because of paucity of time, because I'm traveling a lot of places, I am planning to do it only on weekends for the time being. But definitely once I will be settled again, I will be doing every day. But right now for the weekends, I am doing. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Advocate Jyoti Advocate Pawar. Thank you very much, Ms. Pooja Yadav. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you, sir.
Nitika Gupta. And thank you very much, Ms. Khushbu Revankar. And thank you all the viewers, with the hope that at least till the time we will not do our work ourselves, at least give some respect to them, because the work we have seen in COVID times, how much hard work is this to clean the toilets, clean clean the dirty utensils or clean the linen, and sweeping the floors is not that easy. You might be an IT engineer, you might be a doctor, you might be an advocate, you might be a businessman. See to them also. Give them dignity, give them respect, give them all that what they deserve.